Hello and welcome to Season 7 of Travel Stories with Mosh. In a year that has seen its fair share of highs and uncertainties, travel has taken on a deeper meaning. It is no longer about where we go, but how we connect with places, with people, but most of all with ourselves. At Travel Stories with Mosh, our effort has always been to inspire and remind us how incredible and truly beautiful this world is. So if you enjoy these conversations, please subscribe and follow us on this journey. Hello and welcome to this fabulous season of Travel Stories with Mosh. Well, today's guest is someone who knows hotels inside out, quite literally. Katerina Giannouka is a passionate hotelier who has worked with some of the biggest names in the hospitality industry for over 20 years. A hotel boss turned travel storyteller, Katerina joins us in the podcast today to tell us what makes hotel stays and travel experiences unforgettable memories. Katerina, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today. Obviously excited to go on this journey with you around the world. But let's begin with asking you about hotels because you are a very passionate hotelier.
Thank you for having me. And I'd like to share things that are really personal to me. They may not be about my favorite hotel brands, but they're really experiences that have moved me, have stirred me, and take me back to places that I want to go again.
Fantastic. And that's what we want. I mean, we want, stories that have stayed with you, have maybe transformed you, but have been meaningful in many ways than one. Now, of course, we will talk a little bit about hotels because we want to know the inside stories from you. But let's begin with this journey. Let's start with the very first question of the podcast. Where will you be taking us on a journey today?
I will take you somewhere that left such an impression on me. I went some years ago. It wasn't so recently, but I want to go again and take my son on this journey. It's called Kumano Kodo. It's a trail. It's a pilgrimage trail in Japan, in the Wakayama prefecture. And it's one of two UNESCO World Heritage trails, the other being Santiago de Compostela in Spain, that maybe is a little more well known because it's been, I guess, it's easier to access. But Kumano Kodo is a trail that's being walked by hundreds of thousands of people for over 1,000 years. From emperors to samurai to villagers to us. And it's a cleansing ritual. So there are many different ways to access the trail and walk sections of it or all of it. And the Emperor of Japan used to do it annually as a ritual to cleanse oneself and to connect with spirituality. And it leads to three Shinto shrines, and each one is more majestic and impressive than the last. Think vermilion pagodas and waterfalls and just lush nature. But one can do it too. I found that it was something so unique because it's spiritual as well as sights and scents and food and culture. But it's really special. I did it some time ago. We started in Mount Koya, which is a village on the top of a mountain. It has over 100 stone temples in this village, and it is the most important from a Buddhism perspective.
100 stone temples?
Yes,
wow.
Yes. I think it's more than the villages.
Wow.
But you stay in a temple. There isn't like hotels in this place.
And it's okay to stay in the temple?
Yes, you have to stay as a guest.
Okay.
You observe the cuisine, so it's all vegetarian.
Right.
You're invited to join morning prayers, which is quite meditative. And you go to bed really early because the monks wake up really early to meditate and pray. But you become part of the community for your stay. And there's a cemetery there that's the most important cemetery in Japan. And at night, a cemetery in a wonderful way. In Japan, cemetery is a place where people can go to be spiritual and to meet and to chat. They're quite social places. And at night, they light it up with thousands of lanterns, and you can walk through the cemetery, and it's ancient. It's got moss-covered stones.
Sounds
and
beautiful.
Stunning. Yeah. So the trail, it's sort of this mix between ancient and modern because whilst it is an ancient trail walked by many, you also don't have to carry your backpack or a very heavy backpack because it's supported by something called kuroneko. That's a little delivery service. So each place you stay, because it's probably 4 or 7 nights of hiking, the little Japanese truck brings your luggage so that when you arrive at your next ryokan, because you're staying at traditional Japanese guest houses. Your luggage is there waiting for you. So the whole experience is really special. I mean, you stay at ryokans along the way, traditional guest houses. And often they're owned by a little old couple, and they're very proud to show you what this kaiseki meal that they prepare for you. There's vegetables from their garden or fish from the river. And even though they probably can't speak a word of English, I had experiences where they'd be a little old Oxford dictionary, all yellowed pages, and they'd be trying to converse and tell us things over dinner. Some of the rooms are very, very basic. You're staying literally on tatami mats with rice paper walls, very, very simple washing facilities. But being able to hike all day, and you arrive at these ryokans, really sort of they're the salvation after a long day's hike. And you're seeing cedar forests and mists on mountains. There's very, very few people hiking. Rivers that have bubbling volcanic hot water within them and freezing water just below. These the vermilion pagodas. And everyone holds these sticks, and you get little stamps along the way that you find these points where you can stamp as you go along the route. It's absolutely mesmerizing.
That's such a beautiful journey. I'm at a loss of words because, people on the podcast take us to places or experiences, but a trail like this, which is also a pilgrimage, and it's over a few days. I mean, that's something I've never heard of. It's such a beautiful experience. And then kaiseki dinner is a meal. I mean, how does it get better than that?
The food's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's this the combination of sense and emotions, physical hiking. It's not easy hiking. And then Japan, that just has this ability to do everything perfectly and meticulously and craftsmanship.
Yeah.
And I feel like having to say that there's no signs of, there's no plastics around. It's really connected to nature. And people respect nature as they're walking along.
So you would say that the trail sort of encompasses everything. It's like lots of sites around, beautiful sites around, lots of nature, great food, and at the same time it's also a pilgrimage, right?
And keeping fit, because keeping fit when I travel or being having wellness is important to me.
And over how many days was this trail?
We hike for 6 days. You can do variations. There's one route that comes from Mount Koya that I mentioned before and joins the trail. That's the toughest route. You're going over several peaks and there's elevations of 1,000 meters. Or you can do an easy hike. So it's really accessible for everyone. You can do a 3-day hike. So you just depends where you pick it up. But you want to see the 3 Shinto shrines at the end.
Wow, I love that. I mean, Kumano Kodo Trail. We started on such a great note on this episode. I can't wait to know what else you're going to talk about. So going forward, I mean, that's a beautiful, beautiful journey you took us to. Now, I also want to know about, a place you think that everyone must go to once in their lifetime at least.
Many, but the one I think I go to, and I will many times, and I will never get bored of it. And I think there's something for everyone at every phase of life. Is Cape Town. I'm connected to Cape Town. I have family there, and I'm half South African. But aside from that, I meet people there, and they've been there for the first time, and they feel that they belong. So one thing that the city does is it makes us want to stay longer and go back again and again. And maybe it's the mountain. You've got this Table Mountain, a huge mass of rock that was formed 5 million years ago.
You can't go wrong with Cape Town.
You can't. I want to always climb the mountain or walk it or touch it or look at it. It's so imposing.
Yeah.
And then around it, a vibrant city with such cross-cultural roots and youthfulness, but ancientness, and the food scene is so vibrant. I've had the best sourdough in Cape Town by far. I have my favorite bakery that I go to, outstanding freshly roasted coffee, and there's a market called Oranjenzich that has everything from Asia to local foods and all over the world. And it's a special place. I mean, it's become our go-to happy place with my son. We love riding along the ocean on bicycles, or hiking the mountain, or spending the day at a bucolic wine farm. It really is I think everyone needs to go at least once.
I agree. I mean, I think Cape Town is a popular destination on this podcast. Everyone talks about Cape Town, whether it's the food or it's the adventure or just going on the garden road. I love Cape Town myself personally. It's one of my favorite destinations, but so agree with you. I mean, definitely a place you must go once in your lifetime, and for various reasons. There's so much that Cape Town has to offer. You can just do anything and everything over there, right?
life there is really meaningful, and there's this vibrant community that's emerging too. So I kind of want to tell people to go, and I also want to not have it become overcrowded because it's not yet.
That's
but
also...
it is a place that I wish everyone could go to.
Yeah. So Cape Town it is then one place that one must definitely go to once in their lifetime at least. So now, hotels, I said in the beginning that you're a passionate hotelier, and we will talk a little bit about hotels. So, as someone who's been in the industry for such a long time and as a passionate hotelier, which you call yourself, if you were to create a hotel, outside the usual tourism map, which place would you choose?
On condition, and I want to preface this before I say where it is, on condition that it's really a zero footprint hotel or hospitality offering. It's somewhere that can be removed without a trace, and somewhere that is built with the view of actually giving back and preserving what's there, both culturally, in terms of nature. I'm going to go with Socotra. And because I want to go so badly, and half of many challenges actually, but partly it's because there isn't somewhere to stay at that's really, I guess, accessible. But the images of these, blood dragon trees and nature that you literally don't find anywhere else. I think 37% of species are endemic, meaning they can't be found anywhere else in the world. And these sort of Jurassic Park landscapes, pristine beaches, and I would just love to go. And if it could be done in a very careful, sensitive way, that gives back to the residents who are so unique in their own way, that's where I would.
It's such an interesting destination, and it's on my bucket list. And also because I think it's not easy to get there, right? It's only, I think, one flight per week or something like that. They're still controlling the number of visitors who go there. So it's still so far...
It's not the sort of place you can go to without caution. There's also risk of, security risk in the area and things as well. So maybe that's a good thing, so that it doesn't get too developed too quickly.
Lots of tales around the place. I'm like, ooh, should I go? You just spoke about Socotra, which is kind of off the beaten track, and that really is my next question actually, which would be like, which is that one very off the beaten track, hard to reach destination that you've been to that sort of changed your perspective on travel?
I have been to quite a few places that are so remote you wonder if it was worth it, and some of them there are security issues and safety issues. I'm going to bring back one that is absolutely safe to go to and is worth it. This one is going to be the Genghis Khan retreat in Mongolia.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's not, first of all, getting there, you have to fly to Beijing, and then you have to fly to Ulaanbaatar, and then you have to get...
It's a long flight.
I haven't come to the biggest part. Then you need to get into some sort of a vehicle. We traveled in 3 Russian era Soviet vehicles because you need to be strong. We had 3 blowouts on the route because you're traveling over. You don't have roads. You're traveling over fields and rocks and terrain that are meant for horseback riding. That's how Mongolians move in these steppe, in these very remote areas, not by vehicle. Once you get there, it is so remote. It's called the Orkhon Valley. It was found by a gentleman who's actually a film director, and he was scouting for location to film. And he came to this valley and was shown by the local tribesman Mongolian. He ended up marrying the daughter of the tribesman, and their family built this tented retreat so that they could have a place to go back to where she was from every year. They only opened it up for guests a few years ago. And I went when it was just friends and family. There's just a series of about, say, 9 or 10 of these girls on the side of the mountain. And everything is completely in tune with nature. The camp is packed up and removed for the winter season. And part of the condition is that they can build this camp if they leave no trace.
Right.
It's a temporary installation. And it's way too far away. There's no phone network. There's no civilization. News to the camp arrives on horseback because that's how news travels in Mongolia. And everything is centered around horses because horses are the livelihood and the mainstream way of anything to happen in these parts of the steppe. They are a source of transport, they're the source of news, they're the source of entertainment. Mongolians are extraordinary riders. I think everything to do with horses and wrestling is what Mongolians love. And the retreat also has a polo camp, and going there, you're just having these picnics in the mountains with nothing around you, and riding on horseback and having a go at polo. And these parties go really late into the night, and it's just this incredible, beautiful experience. You can kayak, and it's really, really special. And the Mongolian people, they're so proud and beautiful, high cheekbones, tall people, stunningly beautiful people. And they can look quite austere, but they can laugh at anything. They have a very vibrant sense of humor. And they're very much part of the camp. They run it, they're part of it, they cook their food for you as a guest.
Yeah.
And they want to be involved in everything that one does there. It's a very, very special place.
Yeah, and they still live like nomads, which I find so interesting.
They are nomads, so they move around.
Yeah.
Even the horses, they don't own the horses. The horses are allowed to come and go, and the ones that come back to camp are the ones that they use to ride, and the others are wild. So they don't have this sense of owning horses. The horses are, and they come to them when they want to be ridden or be used for work purposes.
Yeah, so they really live in nature.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was a really incredible experience to Mongolia. I mean, what a great, great trip you had. Now, going back a little bit into your life, I know you've been traveling around the world, so many different places. You're half Greek, half South African, such enriching experiences while you were growing up. But also while you've been traveling, around the globe, which is that one place you think has had a deep impact on you and kind of shaped you to be the person you are today?
Without a doubt, it has to be Hong Kong. I moved there in my early 30s, and I left a different person. It's really where I was able to discover who I am without corporate identity, without childhood identity. There's something about the city where you feel you arrive and you know you're not going to be there forever. And because of this, that knowing that there's a beginning and an end, and the city itself, which is so vibrant and so many sensory and energy, I think people produce differently when they're there, be it through work or be it through, and everyone I think leaves different to how they arrived. It's different to what you might expect of Hong Kong when you spend more time there. Like everyone knows the skyscrapers, but some 75% of the territory is natural. It's protected hikings and trails, and I did trail running there. They're white, pristine beaches that you have to hike a couple of hours to get to, and you could be in Thailand, and yet it's Hong Kong. So there's this other side of Hong Kong that not everyone knows. It seems to be a city too where everyone is doing something in life, but not from having to be productive point of view, but is up to something, standing for something politically, or being there to further their business, or seconded from New York, or
there's always a cause to
there really is. It's an amazing place.
Yeah. Love it. You know what what really resonated with me when you said that you arrived in Hong Kong and you immediately know that you're in this place where you know you're not going to be forever. And that's also kind of the story of our lives in Dubai, right? I mean, we don't know how long we're here for, but that's always there at the back of your mind that you're perhaps not here forever. And that kind of shapes you very differently. So I'm sure your Hong Kong experiences were very, very different. And, and also you went there in your very constructive years. So that must be a very, very different experience.
It was very different. I feel that when we know that there's a beginning and an end, we live with more presence.
Correct.
There's almost about like making every day matter the most.
Yeah.
I think that's possibly a healthy way to live, because nothing lasts forever.
Yeah,
We run the illusion that things are lasting forever, but they really don't.
Yeah, amazing. But you also travel a lot as a solo woman traveler, right?
Yes.
And solo travel for women especially is on the rise. A lot of women love to travel solo. And I think it kind of develops. Some people kind of like solo travel, but some people develop this, like I have kind of developed this, really liking towards solo travel. And it's a very different experience. It depends on how you take it, but also, like, I'm sure it's happened with you. You've been to places where you've probably felt vulnerable at times. So in your experience, which is that one place you thought, you were intimidated by, and you thought you'd be vulnerable there, but you've actually found it to be a very empowering experience?
There's one moment that comes to mind. It was many years ago, and I was in Cairo. And I was there for work. And I remember being there with a colleague who had to leave early. And he said, Katerina, don't go anywhere tonight. Stay in the hotel, go down to the restaurant, and, tomorrow is your flight. So, of course, I didn't listen to him. And I wanted to go to the Grand Market of Al Khalili. So I remember saying...
In Cairo?
Yes.
Okay.
I got a cab.
I'm waiting to know what happens here.
Well, I was practical. So I tied my hair up. I didn't wear any jewelry. I put on like a bit of a rough-looking frown so that no one would want to talk to me. And when I got there, it was the most amazing, welcoming, warm, vibrant place I can remember. And I remember being a little bit afraid, and I did wear my gruff face in the beginning, but then people would just start saying what they were saying with some English thrown in so that I might understand what they were selling or what they were trying to do. And I found everyone so gracious and very... very sort of, they invited me, but delicately. They didn't kind of force anything. They didn't try to make me sit down and drink tea, which I did eventually. But just the feeling that I could be immersed in this ecosystem of that's been there for thousands of years.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a lovely, warm place, not at all a place that was intimidating.
Yeah, that's a very, very interesting place to pick, because most people would think, for a solo woman traveler, hanging around the streets of Cairo, you'd be like, oh, are you sure, kind of. But it's the perspective, right? We always go to places with a pre-existing, opinion about places or even people, but you don't know unless and until you experience, like, for example, what you experienced, and that sort of completely changed your perspective on Cairo and the people there.
So I've been to many hairy places, but I feel if you come with that approach, many of the cautions are unwarranted.
No, absolutely, I agree. And you have to allow people to be. I mean, most of the time we just brush people away thinking, if you're alone in a place, like, oh my God, I don't want to be unsafe or kind of attract any kind of unwanted attention. But if you allow the graciousness and the energy of people, you'd be surprised, that people are, like you said, most people are genuinely good. But there are also very many places around the world which are underrated and don't deserve the attention in the travel world as much as they should. Which places, in your opinion, are those places that deserve more attention and they don't right now?
On the mainland of Greece, where it's a mountainous region, not what you see in the Greek brochures. I mean, I love the Aegean Islands. Don't get me wrong, Mykonos is special, as is Santorini, or Corfu, where I'm from. But the mountain area is really, I think, where some of the original Greeks came from, the Macedonians. There's a canyon called the Vikos Gorge. And I had wanted to do this all my life since a kid, and I never got around to it. So my mum and my son and I decided to do the hike. And it's actually in the world, in the Guinness Book of Record, it's the deepest canyon in the world.
Oh.
The Grand Canyon is the biggest, this is the deepest. And you can hike all along the bottom of the canyon. You have to scale down a mountain through forests from a little stone village at the top. And you hike along, it's quite a long hike, it's 5 or 6 hours. Some of the terrain is a little bit difficult. And at the one end of the trail is the source of a river. Like, I have never seen a river begin from freezing water bubbling from a rock.
Oh.
So the water is so plentiful that it forms a series of crystal blue 4-degree water, ice cold water. And then it starts this river, which is a vibrant river. And I just thought, we don't, as a Greek person, I hardly knew about this, and the world certainly doesn't know much about it, and it's very well marked and everything. So I think northern Greece deserves much more recognition.
Yeah.
And I was hiking thinking, this is world class. I mean, earlier in the year I was in Norway hiking great mountains. I've got this on my doorstep. So I think that places like that, and I'm sure there's many others in other countries that just haven't hit the big brochures that are so special and authentic.
I love Greece, and what a beautiful country. I mean, just everywhere is so beautiful. And I say that about South Africa as well. Like, everywhere is so beautiful. Where do you look? But with Greece, another thing which is like 10 on 10 is the food. But so what I wanted to ask you is, I mean, since we're in the midst of a chef or a wannabe chef, wanted to be chef, I mean, it'd be interesting to know which place in the world you think is the best for food.
Yeah, there's one place or two that stand out. In Australia, I'm going to say Sydney and Melbourne. Sydney for food, and Melbourne for coffee. I've just had the most amazing meals in Sydney, from Michelin stars or maybe a version 2, but really fancy restaurants, to a local, Bondi Beach with a little breakfast bowl somewhere.
I think what works for Australia as a whole, or perhaps Sydney as well, the produce, right? Like they are so rich in the produce that they have. It's like there's very little that you have to do when it comes on the kitchen table, really.
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
a fresh green salad,
Yeah.
Kuji, just tastes different. I don't know how they do it. It's absolutely different. And that's it. It's got to be, the soil has to be good. It can't have been overused. It's got to have been rotated. And you need appreciation and land mass and fewer people.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's, I think the ingredients are important.
Interesting. So Sydney in Australia is the best place for food, according to you. I find that very, very interesting. Can't wait to go. Now, you've given away a few hidden gems on the podcast already, but I still want to know, what is your hidden gem?
Oh, I'm conflicted because if I say it, it might not be hidden and
Anymore.
I might get into trouble. I'm not sure that I have the
now
owner's
you have
permission.
to put you on the spot.
It's a place called Haukassen Lodge. Mm-hmm. It is in Norway. Mm-hmm. I've been a few times. It's you have to fly to Oslo and then you have to take a 1.5 hour flight northwest to an airport called Sogndal.
Okay.
It's a hunting lodge. So it's only open for, I think, 4 months a year or so, 4 or 5 months. And the hunting season in Norway is from end of September through to December. This lodge shuts down mid-November. And I guess that's the commercial season of the lodge. And it's booked many years out. There's Russian oligarchs, American presidents. So it's on the map for people who hunt. I don't hunt. But in the summertime, the owners, it's a family that's owned the lodge or built the lodge over many generations. They invite friends of friends and people they know. And I've been there on intimate retreats with a group of friends and just had magical moments sharing by the fireplace or sitting in the sauna that overlooks the fjord, hiking glaciers, hiking up to waterfalls or kayaking in the fjords, ice bathing. It's so much fun, and the family make everything themselves. They cook for you.
Just nature,
slow luxury.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really it. There isn't an agenda. They're not trying to make profits. They run it because they care about it. And Jonas, the owner, has got to be one of the best trackers in Norway. So he can make even the most incompetent hunter look good. And they have the storytelling of they tell about some of the people they've had stay without naming names. They're really authentic. They make the lodge it is and the people you're with.
What a beautiful place. So it's called Haukassen
Lodge, yeah. Haukassen Lodge.
So it's called Haukassen Lodge for anybody who's going to be looking it up on the internet. But a beautiful place, I'm sure. I mean, Norway has some of the stunning landscapes. And to have a place like this in the middle of the fjords, I mean, you know, how beautiful that can be. Well, that has been such an incredible journey with you, you know, traveling to these various corners of the world. But before you go now, I want to know what's on your bucket list.
I would love to go to Oman. And that's been on my bucket list for many years since I started diving. It's not too far from us and it has some of the best diving in the world. And I'd like to go to some remote dive destination in Oman.
Amazing. Great pick. I'm so glad you said Oman because it's just a stone's throw away. And it's such a beautiful country. And we don't go there as much as we all should, I think, you know. But it's a beautiful, beautiful country. And I hope you get to go there very, very soon. Thank you so much. This has been such a fantastic conversation with you, going through these incredible places that you took us to. And I wish you all the best. And thank you so much for joining us on this podcast.
Thank you, Masha. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. I hope our conversations have fueled your wanderlust and inspired you to travel the world in new and exciting ways. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let us know what you thought of today's episode. Until the next time, safe travels and keep adventuring.